Right, can anyone hear me now? Right, so you can hear me now and no echo, no? Right, let me move the microphone closer. I'll turn this fucking fan off. Right. Everyone can hear. Sweet. Right, let's begin. I'll show you how to lose money in style. So, let's get rid of that. So if I go through the questions that was put forward earlier, I think that's the best way to start. If I can, there we go. Right, so areas of improvement required. This is from Fraz. He was talking about the 7, the 25 and the 99 on the MAs. When to get in and when not to get in because many signals are fake. So I use the MAs quite a lot on my phone just because Binance, it actually is a little bit different to TradingView charts, but when I'm on the move, they're so easy to see, especially the 99, as we know, is the absolute king. Let's try and find something here. So even here, just for instance, this is the 25 just sitting on here. Nice reaction on that. Nice reaction on that. And then it flips over, and obviously that's when you get the big candles. Let me just see, make sure everyone can still hear, because I literally cannot see anything. If I was gay, your voice would be sexy. What the fuck? How the fuck did you get rid of the ads? Right, I need to... Hold on. Let me try something. Wow. This is ridiculous. I'm like a fucking caveman. So I'm just going to run through. I'll have to keep scrolling back. I want to see a Pike EO Thong. Someone's had a beer. Fucking hell. I'm just going to keep going through and just checking back at the, what do you call it? At the chat, just to see if everyone's still there. And I'm not talking to my fucking self. So let's try and find some MA samples. So 99, 25 and 7. So let's scroll out on auto. So this one here, these ones are, well, it played out in hindsight, but these ones I'm not too keen on jumping in, because what happens is the price, the 7MA is pretty tagged to price. So what you see here, it was a potential cross, so you could have been looking for it, I suppose. But if you're catching here and you had previous resistance here, you're not going to jump in because the volume comes up, pulls the 7MA through the 25, so it almost creates the upcross through a false of price surge. That comes up through resistance, and then we've got this stop hunt, comes all the way back down, sweeps the stops, and then it goes off on its way. This one here is actually what you want to get into. So this is slightly different. So you see here we have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, around 8 hours of sort of potential crosses off and confluence on the trend line as well. If we zoom out here, so this is our trend line coming up. So when you have confluence, it's even better. So that's what you need to keep an eye on as well. Previous support, fib levels, where they cross. If the MAs cross at them points and them levels, then you're pretty safe to enter there. So let's just say, let's put a long on that. At the up cross, realistic, just textbook 2% stop with, well, whatever you would have done. You could have used a trailing stop, etc, etc. Although that's in hindsight, the up cross there was pretty decent because you had that consolidation, which I was talking to people in the group earlier today about. When price sort of gets to the 99 and doesn't rebound, you see on this part here, price comes down straight back of the 99, obviously comes down, doesn't close below, and then it sets itself on its way on the next leg up. What you don't want to see is it come down, test the 99 and stay there. Jeanette in the group showed me ADA that was doing this, and I think it was about 6 candles, and then it fell through and lost support. So ideally this is your setup. This not so much. As I say, in hindsight would have been an obvious play, but we're not trying to do hindsight. We're trying to do realistic targets and entries. Let's follow price just for argument's sake. All a little bit tight up there, and then you get this down cross again, and then it falls through support, and then it just literally nosedive. I think this is when Justin was having trouble having a shit or something. So obviously in crypto, if you've got kidney stones, then you get punished with losing 20% of your net worth. So, and that's why we're all here, because it's absolute carnage. Let me try another one. Let's try a Raven. Let's go to the hour. I won't spend too much time on the MAs just because obviously I've done the video on it, but I just wanted to make sure I got Fraz's list sorted. So let's turn them back on again. So where are we? So again, hindsight, brilliant. Up cross there, but because the 99's there, I tend to avoid any tightening. Would have played out perfectly here, but that's not something that I look for. I've marked this green line here. That must be a support or resistance line on the daily, so that would have been quite strong. So we would have tucked right under that, so you'd have been essentially buying the up cross with the 99 and the daily resistance above you, which is not ideal, and the volume was pretty poor. Unlike this little cluster here where there's a lot of buyers and sellers and loads of liquidity and a bit of volatility for you to scalp and stuff. That for me is an avoid. Again, this is the one what I tend to look for, which is exactly what we just looked at. Nice consolidation when they're pinching. We get the down cross, but literally no drop. What do we come down? 0.6%, absolutely nothing. Then we get the up cross, and then it sort of consolidates and then moves up and as a continuation. I will look more into that because I've noticed only in the last few days, believe it or not, that is a possibility of a continuation when it consolidates at the 99 and the up cross. I'm sure Rick will be able to do a back test and stuff like that. Let me just go into the chat quickly and see if everyone's still there. No, that's not the chat. Jesus Christ. Right, he sounds a load better than me after a few, respect. Hello Jeanette, Sosbol, yeah, yes, big man. I have no idea what's going on. Assume I'm now on a live stream. Can everyone still hear me, by the way? Because I've been rambling for about 10 minutes. Don't you have like 8 screens? Yeah, what's happening, Posty? Don't you have 8 screens? Yeah, I do, and it's in the cabin, which is probably borderline 300 degrees, and I've got no chair or mouse or desk because I spent all my money on that, and I can't afford to have one. Right, let me go through the number 2, volume preceding price. I think there's more of a bearing on crypto due to the explosive and volatile nature, so a better understanding of how to identify key volume figures leading up to a move would be good. I don't really pay that much attention to volume. Just because I think I used to quite a lot when I first started, but I think it was the BNB run and the Tron run and the Bitcoin, funny enough, all of those three, every one of them had bearish divergence on the volume, reducing volume, looked like it was going to roll over, and then bang, another 10%. And that happened on Tron, run from 284 sats all the way up to 250s, 850s I think it was, or 860 it topped out at. Likewise for BNB, started off at 12,000 sats all the way up to 48,000. And the same for Bitcoin, from around about 6,000, bearish divergence, and pop every single time. Every time you thought it would roll over, it just come back with another 10%. So I tend to sort of, as you see, my volume clusters are actually hidden on my charts. Let's have a look. Yeah, I don't even use them because I just tend to find that they're pretty pointless at the minute. So let's have a look at this. So here we go. So bearish, this is exactly what I just said, and I didn't even know. This is why I didn't want to prepare anything, because I wanted to do this live, and I think it'll explain it rather than sort of a rehearsed setup and this done this and this done that. I'd rather just sort of wing it, so to speak, and just show you what I'm talking about. So let's look here on Bitcoin. Bearish divergence on the volume, price going up, volume dropping. Let's get it in line with that and do it properly. And then what happens? We have a 16% pump. So these people that play the divergence on the volume, we're just getting absolutely slaughtered. And this is exactly what I see all the way from for Bitcoin, Tron and BNB. It was at that point I just pretty much ignored volume. I mean, there are a few cases where you'll have an up cross consolidating with high volume, or on the daily, if you notice, 4 or 5 days of high volume coming in and the price hasn't moved yet, that's an indication of a potential move up. I think it might have been, no, it wasn't. There was one, it might have been waves. I think it was waves and F pairing. If you have a look at that on the daily, actually, let's have a look ourselves. Literally going to smash something in a minute. No, yes. Well, you can see it there, absolutely flatlined, but decent volume. So let's go to the, I'm sure it was the 1 day that we was looking at. So we see there, I mean, that candle closed pretty small in terms of body, so that's a bit of a red herring that's green. And obviously, again, come up and tag the 25. which is a good short sign. Where's the? Let's have a look. See what the 99 was doing. Oh, I fell short there, and nowhere near it all the way down. The daily MA up crosses are usually pretty brutal like that. I mean, everyone's a great hindsight trader, but if we realistically entered only up crosses on the daily, I can't even fit it on the screen. I'll leave off. Fuck off. So that went 424% within 20 seconds, probably 3 weeks maximum, which is pretty insane. And that's with Ethereum pairing as well, not even the Bitcoin. But this is what we was discussing in the group. This cluster here of volume. Price just consolidating. The MAs are pinching, so they're not really telling us much. It looks like we're getting a down cross, but I don't pay any attention to them. I prefer these crosses here. So when you get this spread between here and here, so they sort of come in and then swoop, price pulls up the 7, and then you get that nice up cross. Rather than this is a void zone. Do not enter if you're trying to play the MAs. This is, forget it. Just look at that and move on. Change the time frame. Try and scalp, or just change the coin, because it's not going to happen. It's a coin flip. That's just full gambling. I mean, look at that. It's like Tron. No, wrong one. There. So again, even on the hour, it's not really telling us much. This is definitely no trade zone for me, but just based on the daily volumes and price not skyrocketing yet, it's one to watch. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Right, next one. Perfecting entry. I've noticed that you front run entry sometimes to get a better risk reward because you expect a reaction at a specific support and resistance level. Be good to understand this better. So identifying targets, higher probability of hitting, but perhaps less profit. So I'll split that up into two. So if we go back to the Bitcoin, I think it was Spitting Nichols asked me. I did this line, I think we was about here, so 6 days ago. And here's the reasoning why I've done this support and resistance. It's not, we can all draw lines of horizontals where it gets hit. You know, the amount of, you get told the amount of touches, the more touches, which is fine, which is true. But I tend to do it a little bit different. So if I pulled this support and resistance level here, yeah. So we come down, we tagged it twice, big surge of selling, and then the buyers stepped in and pushed it up. This price went on, nice leg up, but then look at the candle bodies. This is what you need to look out for on the 1 hour. So if you've drawn your support and resistance line, and all you're getting is, let's just say I drew one there, okay? Let's just put this on the chart. Where was it? It was about there, just for argument's sake, there. So I could argue, you know, 1, 2, 3 there, 4 touches there, and God knows how many there. But there's nothing spectacular about it. It's just a line on the graph, on the chart, sorry. Whereas this one, you get the decent buy reaction, and then you get the spring up. Price then goes up, then it comes back down. Now notice I mean, this was a decent dump, but notice the candle bodies of what it took to get past that support. So you're talking about some serious sell volume here and decent sized candle closes. And that's to get past this. When it does, it comes back down. I think we in the group, we called 913 or something ridiculous like that, which obviously we would have tagged. Price comes up. That's now our swing low. Now that's this level here, 9157. If price gets near that, or you're trying to re-enter Bitcoin, set your bids here. Set your long up here. Reason being is you can get away with a decent stop. So realistically, 1.67%. If that comes back down, we've got our green box there. Now, obviously, this is our plan. We don't know that this is going to happen, but we're basically having a bet on price bounce in here with absolutely minimal drawdown. With 1.67%. I mean, you could probably even do that, but you're probably asking to be wicked out or something like that if it does reverse. And it's 5R. You know, this is all you just got to keep putting your money in over and over again into favourable trades. There's no point doing coin flips. If MAs are tight, avoid it. If you're not too sure, don't bet. Don't trade. Look at something else. Don't buy. Don't sell. Don't do anything. Or just raise your stops and stuff like that. There'll be days when it's just too choppy. But I see people all the time DMing me on Twitter and stuff. You know, what can I buy now? And if the market's not showing you anything, then you don't buy it. It's as simple as that. And if you do, you're gambling. And I prefer to gamble my money on things that I've got a higher probability of winning than against losing. So sorry, got sidetracked off this one. So yeah, bounced off this level. Now look at this. Come back up literally to the dollar. Up, rejected, come, add another little stab at it, then rejected, then again, and then again, and then like knocking on a door or kicking a door, should I say. The more times you kick it, the more chance it's got of opening. And then this is when we get that big candle. So we had it here and here to get through it, and then we've got one big candle here to push through it. Now we come all the way down, go into price, etc, on the leg up, fib levels getting hit and stuff like that. Comes back down again, fib level being respected, which is 100% bots are coded for fib levels, because the reactions on Bitcoin, especially on the 4 hour to fib levels, is incredible. So that comes down. So let's find out. Dropping, consolidates there, and then you get the two decent candles again. It was at this point here in the group I asked Spittin if he was going to short the 9923 level. I don't think he managed to see it in time, and I didn't get to put the trade on. But look at that. That is not up for discussion. 9923 is the strongest support and resistance line on the 1 hour chart on Binance. It's not up for debate. So that is it. And again, look at the candle. Look at the candle that needed to get through that. This can't be coincidences, because it happens every single day over and over again. And the more times you spend looking at the screen, the more times you're going to see it. Again, not so much that I look at the volume, but the volume's not really screaming out to us. If I was a betting man, just based on that alone, I would be doing something like that. But again, I've not really seen that. I've literally just put that on. So, but that I'd expect price, if we do consolidate there, that I think they were going to come back down. I really want to see 9157. I mean, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Of course, I want it to go up, but I want this. I want to see this reaction. If price comes down and it consolidates here, then it's 8 8s and 8 5s. It's as simple as that. We need people to come see this level here and step in and push that back up. So hopefully that explains a little bit of an edge on the support and resistance lines over just looking out for touches. So because crypto can save many minutes, I'm just going to move on to the next bit quickly. What about free fall? Being able to identify reverse. So the last question on that one is being able to identify whether a reversal or a breakout is more likely when the price is at key support and resistance levels. I would absolutely love to tell you that there's a way of knowing that, but if I did, I probably wouldn't tell you, and I wouldn't be on Twitch on a Thursday night. talking into a microphone, not knowing if anyone else is there. You just have to play the odds. Like, again, we'll come back to the odds. If you're putting your money in, just like a hand in poker, on the turn, you need to know that you've got a decent chance. You're not winging it. You're not just throwing money in because you think it looks cheap. Do the analysis. Look at it. Is it likely? Is it likely to hold? This level here, with that candle through and this poor buying volume, I would say that this is coming back down. You know, you might get it to here and a bounce, but overall, if I was looking for a swing trade for a day or two leading to Saturday, 9157 is exactly the target that I'd be looking for re-entry or for shorting for the MEX people. Let's see what the MAs are saying actually. So here we have the down cross as well, which this is now confluence to the point here. So this is what I was saying earlier about using the MAs. So if price consolidates a bit more, the 7MA is obviously tagged pretty much to price, so that will pull that down. That then will become the fully fledged down cross and support turn resistance, and I would definitely be putting my money on that we go and see and visit 9157. Bitcoin can quite easily drop 20%. It can quite easily pump 20% on some ETF tweet. It's just like BNB with CJ. If that happens, if we enter here and we get to here, we don't take profit because we think we're coming to here, and then you get absolutely stung and stopped out because of a ETF or futures tweet or something ridiculous, or a Trump hates Bitcoin or Trump loves Bitcoin, that's out of your control. Do not beat yourself up about it. That was one thing I hate losing at anything, and when I first started trading, if I lost a trade I'd pretty much take it personally, but then I started to speak and watch Trader Dante, Tom, and I think he covers it. You know, you can only put your money on the table because this is at this point. We're not hindsight. We can't go back in time. This to me looks like it's going to go down. So this is what we decide at this point. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We lose our 2.92% and we look elsewhere and we try again. But this is favourable to bearish. So that's where you need to put your money in. It's about picking and choosing your entries and obviously your targets. So I just want to cover the Matic call, or the Matic call. So as you probably see from my clout chasing on Twitter, I think the call was around about here, and we called, and the call was 114. This is why this volume spike that came in, it had obviously 2 attempts at this and just come in, buyer stepped in, snapped up the price, and that's when we come up and we started to create this range of 154 as the top. That's the eventual target. Now I know a few of us picked up 114, and I think some sold at 117. I think I got out at 120, and I think we set the rebuy for 114 because of this double tap. I thought we might get that again, so I told everyone to rebid at 114, and it just front ran us. I think a few people was actually still in because we moved our stop up to 112. Yep. So we moved our stop once we got to here. Then we got confirmed breakout of the trend line. So that's when that literally stepped in. I think the tweet helped it as well. This is why the tweets in crypto just seem too well organized just to be chance. When Bitcoin loses a key support, and then Donald Trump will come in and say, I hate Bitcoin, or whatever he said. I don't think he said that, but you know what I'm trying to say. CJ, if price is falling, he sort of tries to he put out a vague tweet that that BNB is needed for this XYZ coin. It's just full manipulation, but there's no point trying to fight it. It is what it is. There's no regulations on it, so there's no point trying to fight it. What we need to do is recognize it and trade it and milk it for every fucking cent we can. Let me see what Fraz's last question was, and then I'll go to the chat and see if there's any questions and stuff if you want to run through anything. Chart analysis of Bitcoin, Tron, Ethereum and Raven. I don't trade the last two, Bitcoin and Tron. Again, Tron chart is a little bit up in the air at the minute because someone's got kidney stones. It'd be good to see where you got in and exited on these trades in the past few days to see how you are practically trading these. So again, we covered the Bitcoin on that support and resistance flip. Let's have a look at this is a trade I knife caught the other day. I went to the daily and noticed that 778 was getting towards all-time lows, and I think the news had just broke, about this fucking lunch that had been cancelled. Absolutely ridiculous story, but it is what it is. So I think it was about here. So obviously price literally just absolutely dived. So I put a bid in. I think it was 770 with a pretty tight stop. I think it was about 2 or 3%. Yeah, I think it was about 2.86%, which would have been the 748. Yep. Again, 750s. Do not set your stop losses at 750s. 800s, 1000s. Avoid round numbers, and Bitcoin especially 11,000 to the cent. Avoid those because they get tagged before reversing, and it's always, if you see a buy order that's on 749, you need to tuck under that. So you need to use the order book in your advantage. If you see a $200,000 stop sell on Tron or something like that, you need to tuck underneath that. Sorry, a buyer, talking shit. If you see a buyer stepping in a large order at 749, you can tuck yours just underneath it at 748. There's two reasons. One, it's got a high chance of wicking down and not actually filling because there's not enough sellers at that price, hence your stop won't get triggered. The second point is, if it does fill and sellers sell into that large wall, you want to be out as quick as you fucking can, because if you're sat there and someone's just offed 200 grand's worth of Tron, for example, and you're sitting there one sat behind, you need to get out. You need to get out lively. So that's a little bit on the Tron thing. I think the last sale I did was 810. I think I've done two parts. I did that because of these two wicks through here and this one here. I thought it'd be resistance, support to resistance, but it carried on. But again, it's coming back down again. And my bid currently is, what was it? I'll have to double check it. I think it was 763 because I'm hoping that everyone's put their stops here. And then we get a little cascade and fill, and then we get a wick, and then we go again. But again, that all depends on crypto news that is out of your hands, unfortunately. Right, I'm coming back to chat for 2 seconds. 975. We will hit the lows. We are here, Ball. Agree. Don't worry, lad. I'm well aware. Is this financial advice? Everything I say is financial advice. I'm literally a pro at losing money trading. So, is everyone still there, by the way? Yes, nice weekly setup. Yep. Oh, no. Been playing a bit of Ren. What's this? Add a Bitcoin. Just check the chart. Swanson, what time frame are you looking at, mate? We'll have a look. The weekly. Oh yeah, look, you said it there. What a sausage. Weekly on Adder. Right, let's have a look. So again, I've not looked at this. I'm just going to literally see what Swanson's trying to see and see if I confirm, well, not confirm, but just agree. Let's have a look. Wow. So we're literally tagging all-time lows. So we've got the down cross, which again is not ideal, but it's not great with the weekly for the MAs, in all honesty. I mean, if you're doing weekly MAs, you want to be doing a stock with 9 years worth of data. There's just not enough for here. I mean, it hasn't even created a 99 yet, so the MAs are out the window. So let's get rid of them because they're pointless. Selling volume dropping, but again laddering down, and then buyers are stepping in. Let's go to the daily because I'm not sure that's telling me too much. Right, let's get rid of the volume because that's not really doing nothing. Right, I think Trader XO was talking about Adder in the 500s. Jesus, probably in January, I think it was. No doubt he's probably back in. Decent candle there yesterday. Again, when a coin is at all-time lows, it's pretty difficult to. It's a knife catch. Exactly what I did with the BNB and Tron pair. The odds are stacked in your favour in terms of risk to reward, because why does it do that so fucking big? Is it possible to fight TradingView? 12% drawdown on the all-time low wick. I mean, the upside potential is incredible, but it is a knife catch. But I am a degenerate knife catcher. So the fact that it's stalled, it's for the longest period as well. How far have we got there? So 15 days. 15 days and price is back to where it started. I don't think we had a little. No, we didn't get as high there. It's rounding as well. I mean, the upside potential is limitless, really, because Adder is a good coin. I mean, it should not be down here, but Bitcoin had other ideas. I mean, we can try. No. Yep, it's a knife catch for me. I don't see anything in there that would, other than add into a bag. Not really seeing much. You got the tweezer. Yeah, the weekly does look better. It does look better. I think Sunday night will be interesting to see how that closes. So if that closes over 600, I think you're in business. Anything under, and I'll be bidding there. 526, 528 with a tight 3-4% stop. So that is ideally. I mean, this might not fill, and that's fine. Your bid's not filling. It is absolutely fine. Once they run off and the trade setup gets invalidated, you know. Raven, I was waiting for 418. It hit 433 and reversed. That's fine. I didn't lose anything. I tried it. It didn't come off. It reversed before. didn't lose anything, onto the next one. I think people get strung up on if they miss it, like the 418 didn't hit, but they'll chase it. Well, 418 or 433 is pretty close. Well, it's not, because your stop then is different. It was 418 for a reason, because you could get away with a 2 or 3% stop below the swing low, which is an easy invalidation. So if you're then raising yours up 3 or 4%, you're then entering a trade where your stop realistically should be 7%, which, I mean, some people may do it. It may work for them, but I'm a 2% man. If I'm wrong, I want to be out, and I want to be out as quick as I can and on to the next one. Let's see. Raven was due to Scott front running you 100%. Yeah, the little fucker. And now he's gone. Top 5 weekly, bat as well. Picked up bat and Adar. Trend is your friend till it's not. 10 to 15% gain. Top 5 bullish. Yes, he was. Look at weekly for reference only. You're investing or trading. Just play short-term setups. Raven was due. I was a bit gutted that Raven did actually reverse, because of Scott told me it wouldn't get there. I really wanted it to. I think I've covered short selling your stack. Can everyone just let me know if they understand what I mean by that? And this is on Binance, obviously. You can short whatever you want on MEX. I'm talking about essentially short in your own bag. Cool. Looks like everyone knows that. That's good. I'll cover one more thing, because I've had to turn the fan off and I'm absolutely sweating. So go into Tether. Do you mean selling high to buy back lower? Yeah, pretty much what I think me and you spoke about it. Was it today or yesterday? About your adder. Just one thing I wanted to check on that. If your coin has done 25% or 30% in a day or 2 days, it will come back down. However much you don't want it to. This is crypto. Your coin will come back down, and it will probably go back. It will retrace all the way back down to where it started from. So if you're sitting there holding Tron, for example, at 220 when it actually reversed on 215, when that hit 230, 240, 250, and then it hit 280, that's a 30% swing. But you need to sell it. You have to sell it. Because these coins, they don't stay up 25% and 30% all the time. Even the ones you think have bottomed will eventually come back down. Let me check, see if he's in here. Is Sean in here? Yeah. So Sean sold his Tron bag and was a little worried that it wouldn't come back down. And then I think, 2 days? And now he's got the option of buying it back pretty much for the same, if not cheaper. So if you do try and short sell your stack, don't be worried. You need to pick. I said this to Fraz. You can scalp it like I do. If you're more of a sort of a day trade or a swing trade, just pick your moments. Just wait for the daily. Wait for the weekly. You want to be selling the peaks. You don't want to be if it's jumped 5%. Don't touch it. If this is a long-term bag for 2 years and you end up selling it for 5% gain, and I'm talking about a 5% gain on the day, not so much your bag, because I'm pretty sure 99% of people holding bags now are technically underwater or have dollar cost averaged down. I'm talking about a 5% move. Ignore it. 10%, 20%. Take notice. That's when your short scalping can come in. 30% is an absolute no-brainer. Sell 50% of the stack. You can set a stop buy, which I've done for BNB on the run up. So it hit 20,000 sats. I sold some, put a stop buy in 3% higher. It retraced, bought a little back, cancelled the stop buy. I got caught with the stop buy. I think it was about twice. So all the time I'm nicking 4 or 5% on the way up extra. I then had 2% drawbacks, but I sold them into heavy resistance. And this is what I'm saying about getting your money and putting your trades and getting yourself in positions. You have to put yourself in the right positions. Selling your long-term bag at 5% is fucking stupid. Because if that goes 30%, guess what you're going to do? You will buy it back in. You will. It's an emotional. If you're long-term holding, you're emotionally attached 100%. There's no way, two ways about it. If you've got a coin that you think you're going to hold for 2 years minimum, you're emotionally attached to that bag. If you sell that bag for 5% profit and that goes to 25% profit, you're jumping back in. So don't do it to yourself. Wait for the 25%, then you sell it. Because if it does carry on a little bit more, you think to yourself, that was the right call at the time. And this is, again, get the hindsight out of your mind. Mo in our group beats himself up so much on the Tron call from the other day. He made 4% and the price rose a little bit more, and he done a crying emoji. You can't do that. We entered the trade, we exited the trade with profit, and was looking at other ones, and he just kept on and on about, that it went an extra 2%, and then eventually it dropped. I think it was about 15% more. So you just have to block that out. And the easiest way to do that is to wait for the big days, the big 20% or 30% days. Actually, one more thing I wanted to lock in and move on. Yeah, exactly. It's the only way to do it. Otherwise, it will tear you apart. And the more you think about it, the more the price rises, the closer you are to buying back in. And you might actually lose 3, 4, even higher % of the bag that you was not willing to even touch for 2 years. We love Mo. We do. Bless him. He drives me fucking mental, but I do love him. He's a good kid. I did have one more thing that I wanted to cover. Short selling. But I can't remember it. So if I remember, I'll write it down and I'll do it on the next one. We love Mo. Right. Well, thanks for sticking with it. I know it started off absolute dog shit with the echo. I think I need chart dent. Fuck off about that one. This is Mo has been asking me to chart dent. It's fucking 5 sats. It's going to 0 or it's going to 10. There's nothing I can do or say, nothing to analyse, Mo. But I bought at 11. Yeah. And he still has no stop loss. Unbelievable. Well, I'm going to invest in some. I think the microphone's fine. I'm going to invest in some headphones, look a bit more into it, because I don't like doing things half-hearted. I don't want to have echoes and stuff, so I want to get everything up and running. This was just a trial run, and I want to thank everyone for listening to my rambling. That's me. I'll see you later. Cheers, bye.